Hey guys, Sarge here. I just want to talk to you guys real quick. This video is intended for new gun owners or older gun owners that have had them for a long time and maybe they just didn't know some of this stuff. I've received some messages and comments that have made me kind of want to address a couple points, just so there's no confusion out there, in relations to what we'll be discussing. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about are different types of ammunition. If you guys go to a local gun store or maybe you're looking online and you look up, okay, hey, I have a 9mm pistol, here's the 9mm ammunition. And you see a box that looks like this, where it says 80 grain, 1480 FPS solid copper, right? What does that mean? Well, 80 grain is the weight of the bullet, okay? And when I say the bullet, just so we are all aware, the bullet is this portion right here, okay? So nothing back here, just this portion up here in the front. That is the bullet. That is what is 80 grain. It is not 80 grains of powder inside of the casing, which I heard someone say, okay? That's not what it is. 80 grain is the weight of the bullet. The 1480 feet per second is the velocity that the bullet is traveling. So when the gun is fired, that is the velocity. In most cases, though, this testing or reading, it's normally taken from like the median of 5 or 10 shots, and it's normally shot out of a 5-inch barrel. But each ammunition manufacturer does it differently, so it could be different. Now, if we look at this one, this is also 9mm, and it is traveling at it's 124 grain, traveling at 1100 feet per second. So 124 grain, and it's traveling 300 feet per second slower. What you will normally find is lighter bullets travel faster, right? They have more velocity than the heavier bullets. So if your goal is you want to get a faster bullet, because what a lot of testing has showed us is faster the bullet, more expansion in some cases, then you want to look on the lighter side. Unless you get a plus P variant, which this is 115 grain plus P, and it is traveling at 1230 feet per second. Okay? It is traveling at 1125 feet per second. So this is 115 grain plus P, and it's barely traveling as fast as this 124 grain. Well, what does the plus P mean? So these two bullets here that I just showed you guys, those are normal pressured rounds. Whenever you look at a plus P or a plus P plus, those are increased pressure, okay? So those have more pressure to them. And what does pressure really relate to? Less pressure is going to have less of a recoil impulse. More pressure is obviously going to increase that recoil impulse. If you guys know how to properly control recoil, it really shouldn't matter. But there is a difference when you shoot lower recoiling rounds as opposed to higher recoiling rounds, especially in some of the smaller guns that I've seen some of you guys running, right? So those are things to pay attention to. Another one that some people have talked about, in modern firearms, it really should not matter, okay? Should not matter. But both of these are 9mm. These are both 9mm hollow point variants. I know what you're thinking, or self-defense variants, right? This one is a hollow point, and this one is a what's called an external hollow point. They both have the same purpose for the same things. What I recommend, regardless of what carry ammunition you choose, run it through your gun. Okay? Just because it works in my gun, maybe it won't work in yours. So how do we know if it works in our gun? You buy the ammunition, you put it inside of your magazine, you go out to the range and you shoot it. Okay? That is the best way to make sure that your ammunition works in your gun. If I am choosing my carry ammunition, right, what I'm going to carry every single day, and I have the choice of a hollow point self-defense ammunition that was specifically designed for self-defense, or full metal jackets, and that's normally a debate. Full metal jackets look just like this, okay? And this is what's considered your range ammo. So you can buy 50 of these in a box for about $10. Okay, so you can get 50 of these full metal jacket rounds for about $10. The difference is these have an intended purpose. These are specifically designed to do certain things inside of an individual's body cavity for self-defense situations, where these are not. But what I'm going to tell you is, it does not matter what round you shoot if you do not have proper shot placement. If you cannot put the bullet where the bullet needs to go, it doesn't matter whether you had a laser beam or a rocket. Okay? It doesn't matter. Shot placement outweighs bullet any day of the week. I could have a full metal jacket and have proper shot placement, and it'll run just the exact way. It doesn't have a difference as opposed to a hollow point. But where the difference is at, okay, a headshot's a headshot, but where the difference is at is this bullet going to function as reliably? Okay. Am I always going to get the opportunity for a headshot? Okay. Is the point to stop the threat? Yes. So I want to have ammunition that is specifically designed to stop the threat as quickly as possible. And you're going to get that from getting actual self-defense rounds. My choice is obviously G9 ammo. You guys can check them out. But that's my choice for it. Second thing I want to talk to you guys about. And before I get into it, all guns are unloaded here on the table. Okay. I saw a video yesterday of an individual bragging about their brand of holsters. And they kind of, I think, made it a little deceiving for the public eye. And I kind of want to discuss that, because there are a lot of new gun owners, and there's a lot of people saying that their products are the best when that is not the case. Their products are really no different than the other guys, except for they charge $50 more. So if I'm getting into firearms, I want to understand, why is this holster $80 and this holster is $30, right? Because there is a difference. But is it always as big as the difference as what some people make it, right? Maybe not. So what I want to talk about is levels of retention. So if we look here at this leather holster, all guns are unloaded, right? This is a nice little leather holster. If I start shaking the gun, or if I start shaking the holster, the gun falls out. There's no retention to this leather holster whatsoever. Whereas, if I take any of these Kydex holsters and I flip the holster up, the gun is not falling out, right? Not falling out. Try this one. Gun's not falling out. Try this one. Gun's not falling out, right? This one's shaking only because this is a Safariland 578 and it's designed to fit multiple guns. But it has a retention point that is stopping the gun from falling. Okay, so the gun cannot go past that point because it's locked into place. Alright, I just need to tighten up the holster. That's the only thing with that one. Well, why are these guns not falling out? So, if you look right here, that is a retention screw. So if you tighten it, the holster will get tighter. If you loosen it, the holster will get looser to the point to where the gun can easily come out of the holster. I personally like having my retention as tight as possible on concealed carry holsters. So that way it's not that easy to get it out. And what I mean by that is, if this is hooked onto my belt and my belt's tight, I can easily pull it out, but it is not just going to come out on its own if I'm on the ground fighting. Okay? If we look at this holster, it has 2 retention screws. I have ran both holsters. I've ran both types of holsters in classes. I have had students run both types of holsters in classes. People that only have 1 retention screw and holsters that have 2. And I've seen no crapping difference. Okay? So all I will tell you is, if the holster is $20, what you want to look for is the attention to the holster. Okay? Notice I'm not necessarily going to say the lines of it, but just notice, does it look like somebody took the time to make sure that the angles are properly contoured? So that way you don't have weird angles digging into your body, right? And you can tell cosmetically that there is a difference between the two. But when you start looking at the prices of them and what you're using them for, can you still get quality without paying $100 for a holster? Okay, that's something you guys are going to have to look at. Here's my McKinney, and you can just see, even with this one, how it's blended. How if you're wearing this in the appendix or even on your side, there's no sharp points that are digging into you or cutting into you, right? So that's something to think about. Now, these are all considered level 1 retention. Level 1 meaning that it's locked into place and it's not moving, right? There's a retention point to it. A level 2 retention holster is where you have to defeat something to, and when I say defeat something, you have some form of mechanical lever or switch to activate to release the pistol. So if we look here on this Safariland, right back here, this Safariland 578, I've done multiple videos on it. You have to press this in to get the pistol out. Okay, and then there's the locking mechanism right in there that locks the trigger guard in place. Okay, and it will not come out. So when you guys are looking at holsters and we're looking for some of the best options out there, some of the safest options, just go into it with that mindset, okay? Actually look up the company, especially companies that have been around for a while, guys. If a bunch of people are running the same brand of holster, there's probably a reason for it. And if you get quality once, you shouldn't have to get it again, okay? So if something is a little bit of a, we'll just say a higher price, maybe it's better to only have to get that higher price for something once as opposed to 10 things that were lower price and they're crappy. And that's just kind of my opinion with it. You know, if you have the $600-700 gun and you're buying the $20 to $30 self-defense ammunition, why do you want to give it a $2 holster and not have, you know, an equal amount of importance and level, in a sense, with your gear? That's how I would look at it, okay? I want to ensure that all my gear is running the same, and the best way to do that is just get quality all the way around. So that is it for the video, guys. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to comment down in the comment section below. If you guys liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs up anyway. And as always, guys, stay tuned for more. Sarge out.